Hey, it's that time in the show to check in on the livestock markets with our livestock marketing specialist, Dr. Derrell Peel. So Derrell, summer's almost over, so how would you assess cattle and beef markets so far?
You know, I would say cattle and beef markets have really been just kind of marking time through the summer here. It's been the summer doldrums, and so, we've been just kind of flat through the markets. Now, obviously, there was a big stock market shock a few weeks ago that had a pretty big impact on feeder and live cattle futures, and subsequently then on cash markets. Again, I think sort of taking advantage of the sort of flat markets through the summer. It dropped those cash markets down a little bit, but we're mostly past that. It'll be a kind of a slow rebuild out of that as we go forward.
What about beef production overall?
You know, beef production is down somewhat this year, but not down as much as we expected it to be. So coming into the year, we thought beef production would be down another 4.5%. It's only down about 1.5% so far this year, and almost all of that is due to decreased cow slaughter. So it's really coming on the non-fed beef side. Fed beef production, steer and heifer slaughter is not down all that much. Plus the carcass weights have been exceptionally heavy this year. So fed beef production is actually up on a year-over-year basis.
So what do you expect with all this as we head into the fall?
Well, I think, coming into the fall, we'll see some additional strength come back in these markets. I sort of expect box beef to start picking up a little bit as we come into the fall. I think fed cattle markets will probably pick back up a little bit. And so, the markets, part of that's just kind of seasonal at this time of the year, but I do think the fundamentals will come back a little bit more strongly supporting this market as we move forward.
And, and again, as the herd starts to get rebuilding, as we've been talking about for the past couple of times we've had you on the show, if that starts to happen, how's that going to change things?
Well, when we see, heifer retention, that's going to add significant strength to the market, and we're still kind of waiting to see for that as we go forward.
What about calf markets?
Well, as we come into the fall, normally from a seasonal standpoint, we would expect to see calf prices drop through September to a low in October or maybe early November. I'm not sure that'll happen this year. Again, these markets are down a little bit from that stock market volatility. I really expect to see these markets actually gain a little bit of strength going forward. And there's several factors that will kind of determine maybe how much that happens. One will be this question of whether or not producers begin holding back heifers. If they do, that's going to tighten up supplies this fall. Here in the central and southern plains, the question of whether we get wheat planted and we have prospects for wheat grazing, that'll put a lot of stocker demand if those prospects develop. And so that would tend to support calf prices. So I really expect to see the highest prices of the year probably in the fourth quarter of the year for calves.
Awesome. Well, we look to check back in with you in a couple of weeks, Derrell. All right, Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.